Everyone, happy Friday. Really excited today to talk with you guys and introduce my support dietitian, Beverly. She is an integral part of my team and helping our Road to Remission clients be successful inside of our program. So we are going to wait for Beverly to hop on here, and then we're going to just talk about her role in the Road to Remission community. We're going to talk about some trends we've been noticing among our clients, and we are going to open it up to questions. So if you have any questions for Beverly or me, feel free to drop them in the comments. And hi, Beverly, I see that you're here. Let me add you to... Lives are always so hard. Beverly, I invited you to something. I don't know if it was the right thing. But if you have oh, yes. Yay. I think your
I'm
camera
sure.
is backwards. Ah, you are
Let me fix
backwards,
it.
Beverly.
How do I fix that? Sorry, guys.
No, you're
I
fine.
just can I just do it this way?
You can. Are you on your phone? Can
I
you,
am on
if
my
you double
phone.
tap the screen, does it do anything? Or like on my screen, there's a icon that has two arrows that I'm assuming means flip your camera.
Right? I'm not seeing that on my phone right now.
Well, we'll deal with it if we need to. That's okay.
Right? I'm just gonna flip it around so you guys
Okay,
can see me. Oh, and I can't see you, but that's all right.
that's fine.
You?
It works. Yep, you are
Hey,
perfect.
everybody.
Hey. So, yeah, I was just telling everybody. So, what we're going to talk about in this, but why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself to my followers?
Okay, hey everybody. I'm Beverly and oh my gosh, Callie, we've been working together almost 2 years.
No.
Can you believe it? Um, it's awesome. I love working with Callie. She's just so inspirational and amazing. But not about Callie, about me. I live in Boulder, Colorado, and I've been a dietitian more than half my life, right? For almost 25 years. It's pretty crazy. I love like specializing in wellness and women's wellness, children's wellness, family wellness. That's sort of been my focus my entire life. So it's great to work on this team and work with Callie's clients because we just really focus on trying to get people healthy and a holistic approach, right? Where we're not focusing on those clinical things that other dietitians might focus on. We're looking at the holistic picture of people and everything in their lives.
Yeah. It brings me back to like when I was looking to hire somebody for your position. I was running everything myself and I was just overwhelmed with everything. And I was like, I need somebody. I really want the person that I hire to have IC, but obviously that's not realistic. Like, yes, there's millions of people with IC, but to find a dietitian with IC, it just felt impossible. And I remember putting out a listing on Upwork, and luckily you were on there looking for it. And that's how we got in contact. And even though you don't have IC, you felt, comfortable enough to say that you were willing to learn about it. And so can you talk about like what you knew about interstitial cystitis coming into this position?
Definitely. Well, it's funny because my mom has interstitial cystitis, and I was really out there doing a lot of like overactive bladder kind of work. I was dabbling in that. I was researching a lot in that, mainly to help my mom and to prevent myself from getting what she had. So I knew that IC can be hereditary. And so my interest was already there. And I already, you know, knew the suffering and the pain and the problems my mother was having. And it just made it kind of more near and dear to my heart to learn more. And I think I got around to your question, Callie.
Yeah, and part of why I asked that was because the majority of registered dietitians either don't even know about IC, they don't know it exists, they've never heard of it, or they know about it, but they don't really know what to do with IC patients. So it can be really frustrating for people with IC to implement these recommended diet and lifestyle changes when, you know, the registered dietitian who's supposed to help with that type of thing, like it can be really frustrating when the person doesn't exactly know how to handle it, because it is a really specific and pretty restrictive diet, and that can be really, really overwhelming for people. You know, you get diagnosed, you get handed this list of foods, and your doctor's telling you stop drinking coffee, alcohol, eating chocolate, tomato, citrus, like every single thing that tastes good
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. And I want to add, even though I was researching things to help my mother diet wise, I knew nothing. You know, I really knew nothing. And so that could be a very frustrating thing. You're going to a dietitian, you're trusting this person knows at least something about IC, and even as a dietitian researching this, once I started working with Callie, I realized I hadn't even like hit the tip of the iceberg, so to speak, with what I needed to know and all the nuances. And so it's tough. It's really tough for people, and I feel badly that perhaps doctors or dietitians are leading them maybe down the wrong road, or just doing the best within their scope of practice, but not really understanding all the complexities that they need to.
Yeah. And I think part of it is doctors just don't have the time to sit down and explain the IC diet and the elimination diet. But, you know, even then, if they know it's out of their scope and they want to refer out to a dietitian, like it's like they're not even sure that that person is going to know what to do. So, you know, some things that I've been working on is educating other dietitians. You know, I did that big VA webinar.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, so that was it's good that there are opportunities out there to teach people, but you know, at least for me, my college experience and my dietetic internship, like everything I did leading up to becoming a dietitian, interstitial cystitis was never mentioned one time. And that's really frustrating for me. Did you hear anything about it in your schooling?
Nothing. 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 I had never heard about it. Obviously, it wasn't right. I went to college in the 90s. And so the IC diet wasn't really even a thing yet, you know, and diagnosis probably wasn't even a thing yet. But yes, I learned nothing in school. And even though I was keeping up on topics and even researching for my mother, I still, there wasn't a lot of information I could find, or great information. And people get confused with other bladder symptoms, and it can just be really, really confusing. I also wanted to add that, so maybe doctors have some knowledge of the IC diet, but they don't have knowledge of food. And that's where dietitians come in. Like, we know food so well, and we know how to adapt recipes, we know how to just help people navigate dining out and eating at parties and all the different things that you're definitely not going to get from your
For
doctor.
sure. Because this condition is way more than just physical symptoms. It's mental and emotional health. Like you said, going in social situations,
Mm-hmm.
dining out, going to parties, going to weddings, vacations. It's like it's really overwhelming to take that on by yourself. And so if you have at least one person helping you through that and supporting you, it can just be so comforting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to say on that topic before we talk about what you do for our clients?
No, I don't think so.
Right.
I want to jump into that because that's so fun. I love what I do for my clients.
Yeah. So why don't you talk about what you do, at Callie K Nutrition, but also specifically in Road to Remission?
I do a lot of variety of things, which I love, because I'm not a creature of habit. I love to shake things up and mix it up. First and foremost, I lead one of the group calls, and we just had our group call last night, which was so awesome. Such a supportive group of women coming together and helping each other and having sometimes, I lead the conversation on those group calls, but for the most part, it's awesome to sit back and watch the clients support each other, especially those that have been with the program for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's one aspect of what I do. I review weekly, we call them weekly reflections. So we ask the members of Road to Remission to track their food and how they're feeling, maybe their stress, all sorts of different things that we ask them to log. And then I spend time reviewing each week how everyone's doing. I'm not judging their diets. I'm not doing anything like that. I'm mainly just looking, okay, are they maybe consuming hidden bladder triggers? Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, fast.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
I hate that. Oh my God, I hate that. So I look at their weekly reflections. I respond to their weekly reflections. I'm like their cheerleader, kind of coaching them with keep up the great work. The elimination diet's so hard, but you're doing great. And helping answer questions in those weekly reflections. I also check in with people on a fairly regular basis. Just send them a message in Facebook. How are things going? Can I support you with anything? I love food. I love cooking. So part of my job is also working on cookbooks or meal plans for the clients.
I'm so glad that you enjoy doing those things because I am not a cookbook or meal plan or recipe person. And that has honestly does not interest me. So like when you said you were interested, I was like, this is amazing. Please.
Yay! I love like my passion, and I love helping people alter recipes. Like if you love a food and you're so sad and miss that food so much because you can't have tomatoes or because you really have to avoid like vinegar or something like that. I love helping people have that food again, like the closest possible substitute to that food. That just brings out like the food science chef geek in me to play around with recipes and help people like create a fake mayo or just anything to make their life happy.
Yeah, I saw you posted a seed cycling ball recipe last night, and someone said they were allergic to flax seeds and they were asking for a substitute, and you were like, chia seeds work great.
Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, these seed cycling protein balls are so good. Like I have to stop myself from just eating one because like you're only supposed to have one a day, but some days I have like 2 or 3. So
That's so funny. Okay, wait, side story. I once got really into dried apricots and I was like, these are amazing. I ate like 6 in one day and then I had like severe GI distress. And I was like, what's happening? I Googled it and they said you're not supposed to eat more than like 1 or 2 a day. And I was like, why didn't anybody tell me?
oh no. Oh no. Is it like eating too many prunes.
Yes, yes, it
Yeah.
was not a fun day for me.
I think my kids have accidentally done that because they love dried fruit.
They're so
And
good.
yeah, apricots are really good. They're really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like eating. I mean, you think about it, they're taking this fruit this size and shrinking it down to this size. And nobody would recommend eating like 5 pieces of fruit at one sitting. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So you help with the group calls, you do the weekly reflection reviews, you do the check-ins, cookbooks, and meal plans. Is there anything that we're missing that you do?
I'm available. I help people with a lot of label reading.
Mhm.
So people will send me just screenshots and I'll help them. Like, can I have this? So there's a lot of just day-to-day
Mhm.
outreach that clients come to me for just quick support. Like, I'm at the grocery store. Is this label okay? Or I'm going to this restaurant tonight. Can you help me figure out what I can order or what I can eat? Um,
Yeah,
what else? I feel like there's other things that
for
I'm missing.
sure. And if anything you think of after the fact, let me know. But we can kind of dig into.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
I help with the classes, right?
Yes. Yes, you
In
do.
our system we have, gosh, how many classes do we have? I feel like we
So
have
many. We have so many classes. I can't
80
even.
or more. Yeah, we have so many classes and we're constantly updating them with the latest and greatest. And so I do some of the classes, so some of the teaching. I help create handouts whenever is needed. So we're always creating new, just like handouts or cheat sheets or like tea lists or I research snacks that people can have. I research and post on Facebook. Like remember the fast food
I was
report
just
card I did that was
looking at
really
that the other
popular?
day randomly. It was like, what, Dairy Queen?
It was for the best vanilla milkshakes out there that were most friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Dairy Queen came in at the bottom. It was surprising who came in on the top. But so I'll just, when I'm out and about, like at the store or I get a question, I'll just pop things into our Facebook groups of like helping people figure out which fast food restaurant has the best choices or the best vanilla milkshake or what snacks can I go to my regular grocery store and get that are friendly on the IC diet.
Mhm. Yeah, and you're a really great support for these people because it's like you're out and about. You may be filled with questions about, is this ingredient okay? Is this one okay? And it's like for them to have you there, like, and you respond very quickly, and you absolutely don't have to respond that quickly, but you choose
I
to.
know.
Yeah.
Clients will tell me like, Bev, have some more boundaries, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm that person when like something comes into my radar, I just want to take care of
I
it.
get that.
Like I just want to take care of people.
Hmm.
I have kids. I'm a mom. I'm kind of a caregiver in that respect. So
Hmm.
I just want to take care of
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Or clients, I love them all. I just want to hug them and take care of
No,
them.
I think it's just so comforting knowing that they have support when they just sign up for this program. I mean, we're there for them long term. Even if things are going well right now, if a year down the line things
Yeah.
aren't going so well, like we're there for them. We just had somebody that started with me years ago, like pop back into the program because she's hitting a bump in the road. And it's like amazing. I mean, not amazing, but amazing that you have us here to help you through this moment.
Definitely. The lifetime support is incredible. It's definitely
Yeah.
incredible. So, and it's not a, IC is not like a cut and dry, oh, I'm in remission, I'm done, right? Things can crop back up in your life and it comes back and you get stuck and you need help.
Yeah.
So, that that's important, and that's amazing to build these relationships with the members over time and to see people again. Like, I just saw one of our clients right before this Instagram live, and it's so good to see old faces. So
Nadia's here. Hey, Nadia. You
hey,
can't see her, Beverly. She just
no,
said
I
hi.
can't. My phone is turned around. Can't see
Oh
anybody.
my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, I mean, we're building real relationships. Like, I don't think people outside of our program really understand that. Is yes, it's a support group, but it's not like any other support group out there. Like, you're actually having two opportunities each week, face to face, on a Zoom call to get to know other people, to learn about their experiences, their symptoms. And sometimes you can relate to people, sometimes you can't, and that's okay. But like, hearing all of those experiences, you'll find something that may work for you, may be the next greatest thing that will help you, or you can ask your doctor. Like, so many of our clients, I think, learn the most on those group coaching calls. Like, a lot of people have learned about pelvic floor physical therapy there, or if they already knew about it, they learn about how many of us have success using a pelvic wand on a daily basis, like things like that that you may not pick up from the internet or from your doctor. Like, somebody even said to me the other day on a call, like, people will, or that these things are out there, these recommendations, but you don't realize how impactful it can be. You don't trust that you should try it until you hear from people that it worked for them. Like, that just takes it the extra, few I don't even know what I'm saying. It just helps you to have more trust in that and have more confidence in that intervention.
Right, right. Yes, yes. When you hear it from your peers and when you can actually see the success from your group, it just drives it home that much more. And the program's so much more, it's so holistic. We're not just looking at diet. We're not diet police and just guiding you through the elimination diet. That's a small portion of what we do, right? We're coaching you in every aspect of your lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're bringing experts in the field to our group calls to help people. We're dealing with food fear. We're dealing with stress and anxiety, and it's so fun to watch the group members grow and our clients grow and learn. And I'm learning so much. Oh my gosh, every expert that we have on is amazing, and I love that. I love that approach.
Yeah. And I love the fact that I will never know what I'm about to walk into on a group call. It could be like,
Right?
it just depends who's going to show up, because these aren't mandatory calls. We recommend trying to come to one call a week, but people don't have to show up. This is voluntary. And so people show up and they just want to listen. They're doing well. They just want the connection. And then other people, maybe they have questions, or maybe they're going through some sort of obstacle and they want that personalized coaching. Like, it could be any of that. It could be all of that. Like, we could talk about one topic for half of the call, but it's like, you just never know what you're going to get.
You don't know. Exactly. And it's really fun too. Like, sometimes the calls are really intimate and small, and there might be only like 2 or 3 other people on the call, and we can just really dive in to giving those people a lot of attention. They can ask lots of questions. And then other calls, we might have 10 people on, and those are awesome as well, because everybody's sharing, everybody is supporting each other. Sometimes somebody might break down in tears, and they just get so much love and so much support on the calls. It's always amazing. always leave
I
feeling
know
so full from the call.
you always update me after calls, and you were like, "Man, this was such a great call." And I don't think you've ever not said that after a call.
Oh my God, this call was terrible. No, I've never said that. And I'm always nervous that we're not going to know what to talk about,
I feel
you
like
know?
that never happens.
That never happens. And there's sometimes so much value in silence because people who might be afraid to ask something will speak up.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wanted to say though, is some of our clients, they just can't do the calls, right? They're just not in a place to do the calls. And so like one client right now, we just message a lot via Facebook Messenger, and we'll just check in once a week. And she might leave me like a 4-minute message, and then, you know, I might leave her, you know, we just talk back and forth that way. So there's ways to reach everyone depending on your comfort level. We also have chats, like chat groups within Facebook for like our newest members or our veteran members or members with endometriosis or members with Hunter's lesions, things like that. So there's so many ways for people to feel connected, and I guess I just don't want people to feel like, oh, I couldn't do a group call.
I feel like if I were a stranger to all of this, I would probably think that. And because I'm very introverted in a lot of aspects of my life, I mean, I have to be kind of extroverted for this job, but you know, I might be a little nervous about that, and I might maybe not show my face at first. I might just listen, and you know, that's all okay. We even like if you're overwhelmed, you can jump off the call, like nobody's ever offended by that. Like we record all of our calls. If you miss it, you can just go back and watch it after the fact. Like even if you're chatting with someone who isn't into the calls, you could be like, okay, so you want to know, you want to learn more about this? Like we did talk about this the other night, you know, at about the 30-minute mark. Like they could just jump on like that and learn more. So there's lots of things that.
There's lots of ways. Yeah. Last night, you know, we started our call really intimate. There was only a couple people on there, and then people jumped on and off. And yes, you can use the calls however you like. You can jump on, get your questions answered, get a little bit of support, and jump off. You can stay for the whole call.
Mm-hmm.
I love that variety. You can have camera off, sound off, you know, if you just want to be a fly on the wall and listen in.
And we
So
have people joining from.
we never call anyone out or make anyone feel uncomfortable,
no,
for sure.
no. And we have people from all over the world, so it's actually very cool to have somebody coming in from like Australia or someone in the UK or Belgium or Norway. Like it's so cool to me to hear about, you know, their experiences, not only in IC, but just like life experiences.
Yeah, I always say I have friends all over the world now. You know, I have a friend in Norway, I have a friend in Belgium, I have friends in Australia.
Yeah.
Because we do make that connection, and I do truly feel like these are my friends.
Yeah, I completely agree. And
we have all different walks of life, age groups.
For sure.
I see affects everyone. Yeah. So it's.
I've had people say like I'm this age, like, and I feel too old to join, and I'm like, you're not. Like our oldest member is in her 80s. Like nobody's too old or too young. I mean, if you're under 18, that's a different story. But you know, we have people from probably 20 to like mid 80s. So there isn't any sort of age thing. Even if you're not technologically savvy, like we can help with that. Like we can definitely work with you on that. I had another thought and I just lost it. Crap.
I hate when that happens.
I know. I was going to talk about how we seem to be noticing, and this is kind of getting into the trends. The conversation I wanted to have was just people seeming to fall into different like subtypes or phenotypes. So
Mm-hmm.
there's people who find that their nervous system is dysregulated, like they're kind of like their own little group. And then people who have pelvic floor dysfunction, like that's a group. People who are diet sensitive, like it's so interesting to see the commonalities in our clients and how that compares to what the research is saying. Because if you think about it, the research on the IC diet is saying that up to 90% of people with IC are diet sensitive. But when it comes to our clients and the data that we've gotten, I don't think
Yeah,
it's anywhere near that high.
I don't think so either. I know. And I know we've talked about doing our own research because we collect data and we do such important work. It would be interesting to compare what we find
Mm-hmm.
to what's out there. Because I would say what maybe 25% of our clients actually find that they're truly diet sensitive in the way that they thought.
Yeah. And I mean, even people, like there's some people who only have 2, 3, maybe 4 triggers. It's like not even to the scale that they thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Or their triggers are only during a certain point in their menstrual cycle, or their triggers are only when they're super stressed.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to navigate that on your own. You really need a team of people around you supporting you to help figure that out.
Right. I completely agree. And I think like we were talking earlier about how this really isn't like a diet focused program. This is a more holistic program. And I was just reflecting on we really don't talk about diet all that much on our group calls. I feel like diet talk is usually limited to what the feedback is that you're giving people in their weekly food logs and their reflections. Does that sound accurate to you?
It does. I'd say that was the thing I was most nervous about with the group calls. When I first started, I was like, I know diets. I don't sure I know all this other stuff, but now after 2 years, I feel really confident guiding people with all different
Mhm.
aspects of like physical therapy or stress reduction or nervous system or even medications that they're taking. And not to say we're recommending or anything like that. We're just kind of helping people navigate and empower you to ask the right questions, see the right practitioners, take charge of your health. That happens a lot in our group calls is we're supporting each other and empowering each other, and other members are like, no, you need to, change physical therapists, or you need to change doctors, or you need to see, somebody else, because not every practitioner you see is going to be the right fit for you, or they're just not
Mhm.
trained properly. And you might not know that until you talk to other people in your shoes, and they
Definitely.
can say, no way, girl, go see someone else.
Yeah,
And that
definitely.
has happened. And I've seen it firsthand. And I've seen some of our members, right, have so much success with physical therapy when they originally thought, nope, I don't have pelvic floor
That was
dysfunction.
me.
This physical therapist told me I didn't. They said I was fine. And
Yeah. I saw 4 different practitioners before I started vibing with my current one.
yeah,
And that's important to know because I completely wrote off my pelvic floor. And that was actually one of my main root causes. So it's like, had I not persevered with that, I mean, it did take me reaching rock bottom to get there, but I got there, and I think that's what we're saving our clients a lot of time, just talking about that and telling them when they're not getting the best care based on what they're telling us, and helping them advocate for themselves. And even our one client who drives like 2 hours to go to PT, like she
oh, yeah,
realized it was worth it based on what we were all saying and how much success we've had, and she's been having some really good results.
yeah, yeah. It is. It's great too, like those members can kind of band together, the ones with the different subgroup typing, you know, and help each other and like learn from my mistakes. I did this or I did that, or the things we share in these group calls, like how to sit properly or how to sit in the car or how to travel or supplements that helped. We talk about so many different things. I'm always amazed, right? Like we categorize now within our CARTRA, we call it, you know, within our educational program, we categorize our group calls by what we talked about. And I'm always like, how are we going to talk about anything different? But it always comes up and we talk about something specific and different and helpful. And that's kind of
we were just talking about gabapentin for like 20 minutes the other day, and I was like, oh, this is a topic we haven't talked about in a very long time.
Right.
So if anybody wants to learn about it, like they can go to that call and they can learn about it. Like I think that's great that we've started doing that, because earlier it was just like kind of all over the place. You just click on a date and you don't really know what was talked about. So when we redid the program, I think that was a really good move that we made.
Yeah. That can really help people zone in on what they want to learn about or a topic. Oh, like, what did we talk about last night? We started out talking about like coffee substitutes, which led into like creamer substitutes. And I'm like, this is kind of funny, but super helpful, you know? And I learned like Dunkin' Donuts makes a creamer that's IC friendly. It's their extra creamer.
Okay.
So I'm like, try this. Yeah. It's all natural. It sounds really good. And one of our clients says she loves it. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to have to try that. So
definitely,
I learned something.
Yeah. And I also love how, you know, if somebody, let's say in Canada, is struggling to find something IC friendly that they can't really relate to with us in the United States, like they have, we probably have like what, 15 Canadian clients? That's just a rough estimate.
Canadian clients.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I've been doing when you ask like what other kind of work I do is I help those international clients find products that are available in their country that they can have on the IC diet. So I've done a lot of work researching kind of grocery stores in the UK and what their products are, and give clients at least a basic, you can have this type of bread because they have different varieties of bread there. You can have maybe this frozen white sauce pizza. You can have these soups and things like that. So it's always something new and challenging to help those international clients navigate the IC diet.
Definitely. And this condition can be so isolating. So just having that support, having someone, you know, someone that is an expert in, you know, we're experts in nutrition. I consider us experts in IC, but you know, to have us like in your corner and have another set of eyes on what you're doing, I think that's huge, especially in the weekly reflections. Like you said, we have no judgment at all. We're just helping you look to see if you're missing anything, because it's easy when you're by yourself to miss something. And if you're not eating enough variety, like you can develop nutrient deficiencies, you can lose weight, you can have food fear. Like there's so many things that could go wrong. And I don't say that to scare people. That's just the reality of the situation. If you're doing that incorrectly, that could happen. So having another set of eyes is really, really helpful, I think.
It's so helpful. And I feel like when you go to your doctor and they might say you're low in iron or low in calcium, the thing the doctor does is just, here's a vitamin to take, you know, and we all know that like food is the healthiest way to get your vitamins. And so I've helped clients get off of like iron supplements and just find creative ways to increase iron and iron absorption in their diet. And I know people have come back and like that's helped me so much. Thank you. And that's one of the most rewarding things ever,
Mhm.
is not only helping people with IC, but helping them maybe find other nutrient deficiencies that they didn't know about that were affecting them and making them feel tired or just affecting their overall health.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that. And we have people coming into Road to Remission on like 10 plus different supplements, whether it's for their IC or they just want that like nutritional insurance. It's like we don't realistically want to be taking these supplements forever. Like that's just annoying, first of all. Second of all, it's going to be expensive. So if we can get you eating food and off those supplements, like that is the optimal thing.
Definitely. Or learning hacks, learning those. I was just sharing some hacks with one of our more veteran clients of like, you don't have to buy this expensive supplement. You can eat it this way, or you can,
Mm-hmm.
try
Mm-hmm.
this just dried milk powder instead of that expensive protein supplement. So I'm all about trying to save people money in the course of their diet as well.
And I mean, that's a really, I don't think you meant to make that point, but that's a really good point nonetheless. Like our clients are saving money long term because they don't need as much medical care. They don't need as much medication, supplements, doctor's visits. And so they usually end up saving money long term, whether that is related to their medical care or their food.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. They do save a lot, and we do help empower them to get rid of maybe practitioners that aren't benefiting them. We do see some clients that are running from acupuncturist to chiropractor to massage to naturopath to all these different modalities, and sometimes it's the other clients that just say, slow down, like,
yeah,
take this step by step. It's so easy to throw a bunch at your symptoms, especially when you're just feeling horrible and you just want something to help.
Yeah.
But getting caught up in too much is sometimes worse. I feel like, you're just constantly focusing on your pain and making it better. And where some people have said, like, taking a step back and just being okay, like, okay, I'm feeling this pain and it's going to be okay. And having positive self-talk has benefited them more than all the time and energy and money they've spent on medications and practitioners. And
for sure.
There's so much.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to see things that you're doing or make these realizations because you're in your body. You're always, in the same regimen, and having people on the outside weigh in with permission can be really helpful. Like for someone that was in that scenario, like trying all these different interventions and practitioners, I was like, hey, do I have your permission to like give you some honest feedback? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I really do think that you're doing too many things right now. And if you could maybe just focus on one or two things, that could really help you to stay calm and keep stress to a minimum. Because if you're doing 1,000 things, that's like, holy crap, how do you keep track of it all? And so, especially with someone with a dysregulated nervous system, that's just going to feed into it. So, I think it just depends person to person, like who I can do that with. But if it feels like they will receive that well or neutrally, I'm like, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. So this just came to mind, but one of the other things I do for the program, Callie, is I do this sort of halfway check-in.
Oh my gosh,
virtual
how did we not mention that
with
yet?
clients. So I wanted to talk about that.
Yes.
So right, Callie meets with clients initially as they come into the program and helps kind of tailor things and where they're going to go. And I come in about halfway through when people are ready to start testing foods, right? So we guide you through like a 3-week elimination diet. And then we want you trying new foods. So I come in at the testing portion. I help people tailor a testing plan. We talk about, like, how do I test spices? How do I test vinegars? How do I test like certain food additives? And I help kind of come up with a plan of testing maybe 5 or 6 items and then reintroducing those, and then testing about 5 or 6 more items and reintroducing those. And then also help them think about how not to be stuck in a testing phase for the rest of their lives, because there's so many foods to test. Mm-hmm. And so we come up with sort of this confidence plan, like as you get more confident, you can start testing multiple components at once, and you can start testing things like mayonnaise that might have vinegar, lemon juice, a couple different things. And so having that individualized support with testing is so vital, because I feel like that might be one of the more confusing parts of an elimination diet, is how do I bring these foods back in a way that feels safe, yeah, and feels supported and doesn't give me fear. So that's a fun part of the program as well, is to have that check-in point and really go over those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we let people choose when to use your call. Like my call is like in the first couple weeks of the elimination diet, but we have them, or we say you can use this call with Beverly whenever you feel you need it, but we recommend, in the beginning of the testing phase, because that's when people usually need extra support. And I think it's great that they have you to guide them through that, because like you said, the testing phase is probably the most complicated, because you're testing so many different things. It's essentially a science experiment, and we really want to isolate each item that we're testing. And that can be really complicated when you're just living your life. And so having you there to help personalize that experience and that process to them is just so helpful.
It is, and it's so complicated. Like, you never really think about, well, how do I test soy? How do I test citric acid? Because it's not like you just eat a piece of soy, right?
Yeah, someone asked me about lemon the other day on the webinar I was doing, and I was like, that's a great question. Beverly can help you with this.
Yeah. Or, like, did you know with vinegar, there's varying degrees of acidity? And so we help people start out with like a very, very mild vinegar to test that first, and then try other types of vinegar. The same with coffee. There's ways to test coffee that don't feel as scary, because you can sort of like start with a low acid and then go to a decaf and then go to like a light roast or a dark roast, and the same with alcohol. Alcohol definitely has a very specific way to test it, to where you can start out with things that aren't as frightening or aggravating to your bladder, and then move up with your tolerance.
Yeah, and I think it's really helpful to have you, especially when people have food fear, and because the testing period, you are going to have to get uncomfortable. You're going to have to try things you probably don't want to try because it's scary. We've been told we shouldn't have these things.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
having someone there to really encourage you and be there. And even if you flare, like, we're looking at that as data. We're learning more about your body. And if you fail a testing period for a food, like, you could always try again with pre-leaf or some sort of modification down the line. And, we're there to help you get through that flare as best as we can. So you're never alone in any of this.
No, not at all. And that's what's so great about the group calls, is because I remember one of our members, every group call, I'd be like, okay, you're going to try this. You're going to report back next week. And it gives you accountability to say, okay, I got to try it because I got to report back, and sometimes we need that that extra push and that extra accountability to get things
Accountability
done. Everybody needs
is huge in so many different aspects of
yes.
life in general. But when it comes to IC and the elimination diet, it is so important because it's so easy to just get frustrated and quit.
Yeah.
And having us there and the rest of the community like to hold you accountable in a way, it's not like in a negative way or a judgy way. It's just we want to see you succeed. And so we're going to push you. And I think that that is a really important thing to have. It's like you're more likely to succeed when you have the support and the accountability.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, that's behavior management 101, right? You know, you need to reward yourself. You need to celebrate yourself. You need to have accountability and a support system in place. And we help everybody with that, and we make sure they have a support system in place at home. And I love that, like, I know we talked about it. I think you did create that class, right? Like how to talk to loved ones about IC.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched that one yet. I need to be better on watching.
That's okay. It came from the heart, and I made it right before the holidays. So it was just meant to help people to tell their loved ones about the changes they're going to make, the how their life is going to change over the next few weeks to months, and just prepare for that, and how they can support the person doing, you know, these changes and doing the program. So yeah, just it's great to expand how many people are in your support system, whether they have IC or not.
Yeah, you do need. You can't. You can, if you're a super tough, superhuman, do the elimination diet alone. But we're all human. We all need grace and love and compassion and stuff as we go into this, because it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to cut all these foods out of your diet for a short period of time, and it's hard living with pain, and you just want to like soothe yourself with something you love. And that's my favorite thing as a dietitian, like helping people. You know, you can still have those soothing things like a vanilla milkshake, or we can find those treats that make you feel good and help you get through those rough days.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've been talking for a very long time now, and I want to be respectful of your time. So I kind of, overall, you know, if somebody was watching this and they were considering joining our community, like what would you say to that person?
Join.
Easy.
Be so happy you did. What would I say? I would just say that you wouldn't regret it. You're going to be working with some fabulous dietitians. You're going to be working with a whole community of folks, people starting at the same time you are, veterans that just, I mean, some of our veterans are more knowledgeable than I am. I'm just like, go for it. Tell them everything, you know? So it's definitely worth the money. You're going to have so many new friends. You're going to have an amazing support system. Don't try to do an elimination diet alone. You're going to frustrate yourself so much. And even with guided support, the elimination diet is hard, and some people have to do it more than once, but it's worth it. Like these allergy tests that are out there, people spend so much money on these things and think they're allergic or intolerant to so many foods that they're not. So the elimination diet's the only way to go. It's the gold standard of really figuring out your unique threshold of how much of a certain food you can or cannot have. So it's so sad to think about going on with life without ever having coffee, or without ever having chocolate, or without ever having citrus or tomatoes, or those things that you really love. And most of our clients find they can have those foods, and that's so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, our general approach in Road to Remission, we're looking to help, or we're investigating your root cause. So we're going to start with diet because that's the easiest thing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
And then we're going to determine, are you diet sensitive or are you not? And then those are two different paths that we're going to take depending on what happens. And then
yeah,
if you're not diet sensitive, like we can look into your nervous system, your pelvic floor, your hormones. Like there's so much more to it than food. And that's kind of like the roadmap of what we're doing inside of Road to Remission. And that is a perfect segue into my upcoming masterclass, Roadmap to IC Relief, which I'm gonna be teaching essentially what we help our clients with inside of Road to Remission, how to get yourself closer to that IC relief that you are desperately searching for. And so we already have 100 people registered. I'm so pumped. I know.
yay.
I
Oh,
know.
cool.
I just announced it like a couple days ago, and we're at 100 people. So
Wow.
all you have to do to get registered, this is a free masterclass, is comment or DM me the word roadmap and send you the link. You get registered, and we have 2 live classes. So Monday, February 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and Tuesday, the 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So you have a choice of what works best for you. And we are going to be giving away some free coaching calls. And there's going to be a really awesome offer at the end. We'll leave it at that. So yeah, I think this has been a really great chat, Beverly. I think you and I could go on for probably 4 more hours talking about
I
all of
know.
this.
I'm thinking of so many things we didn't even talk about that we do in the program as well. So
I
there's
know.
a lot. There's so much support and knowledge, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's awesome. And definitely, like, Callie is just, she's humble. She's a total expert. She's amazing. She has such a easygoing rapport with her clients and members, and we all just love working with her. So sign up for that master class. I mean, how can you lose, right? Definitely.
Exactly.
Lots of important
Yes.
stuff.
And if anybody watching this wants to join us in Road to Remission right now, we are accepting new clients. You can DM me or you can just join at the link in my bio. Like this is something that you can join at any point in time. And we're ready to support you no matter what your situation is. And if you have any questions at all about whether it's the right fit for you, just send me a DM. I'm very personable and nice. And we can chat more about it. So any last words, Beverly?
I don't think so. This has been fun. I hope everyone's learned a lot, and I just love what I do. I love working with the clients. I think it shows in the group calls and in just the chatting with everyone. So please join us, right?
Join us. We're the best community out there. Anywho, thank you so much, Beverly, for coming on and talking with me for an hour. We've had people come in and out, so I think this is going to be really helpful. People can watch the recording, and it's a really great resource. I honestly am considering turning this into a podcast episode because it was so good.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's always fun chatting with you, Callie, and obviously everyone out there. Have a great weekend, and
All right.
let's do this again.
Great, perfect. Yes, have a good weekend, everyone, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.